In this video, I'm going to show you the best Spider-Man 2 settings for graphics. So press the start button on your controller, and from here we're going to go to settings, and we're going to go to visual settings. Now when it comes to graphics mode, of course you want to use fidelity because as much as it's going to lower your frames per second, it's going to improve quality across the board when it comes to the actual graphics. So when it comes to VRR, this has to do with the FPS as well. Ultimately, if you want the highest FPS in fidelity mode, it's really going to depend on your setup, but you could leave this on uncapped or smooth. When it comes to 120 Hz display mode, if your display offers it, definitely turn that on. Now, when it comes to these other settings, such as brightness and contrast, me personally, I like to boost the contrast a little bit just to see the different colors. It really gives it that oomph. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, when it comes to a lot of these other settings, such as full screen effects such as motion blur, film grain, etc., these are very much personal preference. However, when it comes to film grain, I find that when it's too high, it can make the game look a little bit too rough. So somewhere between 3 and 5 looks great, and the rest of these are just personal preference. Now, the next thing I want you to do is press the PlayStation button on your controller. From here, we're going to go to Home, and now we're going to go to the settings cogwheel. Now we're going to scroll down and go to screen and video, and we're going to go to video output. Now you want to make sure the resolution is on the highest one possible, or just leave it on automatic because PS5 does a great job of selecting the best resolution for your television or monitor. When it comes to VRR, I recommend you turn this on if possible. Same thing with 120 Hz output. You can just leave it on automatic and it'll do the rest. And if you have auto low latency mode available, I recommend you turn that on as well. When it comes to a lot of these other settings for newer displays, you can go with full for RGB range. And if you're not exactly sure, there's nothing wrong with going with automatic. Same thing goes for HDR, turn that on if possible. Next, we're going to be going to save data and game/app settings. And from here, we're going to go to game presets, and we're going to turn it on to resolution mode rather than performance mode. As much as you can change the setting in the actual game, I just like to personally switch it as well, just in case for some reason the game were to mess up, but generally speaking, that's not really an issue. So hopefully this video was helpful. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.